Up, everybody? It's your boy King Hustle, and yes, it is the best money and credit channel on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe and hit the all notification bell. So whenever I drop new sauce, new lessons, new methods, and giveaways, you'll be the first one to be notified. You'll be the first one to know what's going on, and hey, you might be the first one to win something for free. So make sure you subscribe and hit the all notification bell on all the YouTube channels. Also, make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. All you gotta do is put the title on every video. Once you put the title on every video, at the bottom in the description, all my social media links will pop up. All right. Got a lot of fake King Hustle pages out there, so please get a FaceTime verification call every day to make sure you see this face. Make sure you're doing legit business and you're getting what you paid for, right? And before we get anything started, this is all educational purposes only, not telling anybody to do anything. So let's get this thing started. Hey, let's get this thing started. Hey, what to do, my real King Hustle fans, supporters, subscribers out there, my real Hustle Nation Empire family members, and we are back at it again with the gems, back at it again with the sauce, back at it again with the information that's gonna turn you into a boss. So you tired of being a zero? You ready to be a family hero? Listen up, take a seat. Get your notepad and get your pen because you already know when I drop these videos, you're going to get them notifications. There's going to be some information that's going to help you win, keep you informed, or keep you entertained. So, you know how we're getting down today's video. We can talk about these new bank methods, scams, fraudulent activities that's going on in today's world. It's getting a lot of people some money, even random people money. And I'm talking about people who ain't never did a method of nothing before is getting into this world and making some quick, fast cash. And there's a lot of new things that's going on in this world because as the world evolves, the scams, the methods, and the schemes evolve. And wherever there's money being made, there's going to be some type of scam or fraud being committed. And a lot of people quite still don't understand it. So today we're going to be talking about the new methods, these new credit card methods, and how scammers and hackers and fraudsters are compromising people's credit card information. Now, there's a lot of different ways that they are committing these crimes and committing these activities. And a lot of people need to be more aware of it because if you're not aware of it, you're not going to be able to keep yourself safe from it. So today we're going to talk about the different methods, the different ways that people are committing these credit card scams and compromising different credit card and debit card information and how serious and how it has elevated from actually having to have that card to or buy that information off the dark web to now they have devices out here or tools out here that will basically allow people if they are within an X amount of feet to basically compromise the frequency and compromise the credit card or debit card information. So it's getting real out here when it comes to the scams and the fraud. So with that being said, let's get into it. So hackers can compromise NFC cards through various methods, including skimming, relay attacks, which is ghost tapping, malware distribution, and social engineering. So NFC cards are basically any card with a chip. Those are NFC cards. So the short range NFC communication offers some inherent security, but determined attackers can bypass these limitations with this specialized equipment and techniques. So they have some type of security databases on these NFC cards, on all cards with chips, but everything is not secure. If somebody works hard enough towards something, they get what they want. So hackers, fraudsters, or scammers work hard enough to get certain information or bypass some certain security databases, they can do that. They got a lot of different things out here that allows people to be able to bypass security databases, IP addresses, and things like that. So it's getting real out here. So skimming. So a lot of people probably heard about skimming, but probably don't know what skimming is. So attackers use hidden NFC readers in crowded areas to discreetly or to be on the low to scan cards and capture data without physical contact. So basically, they could be somewhere near and they can basically because a lot of people, it's a lot of different methods that go into skimming and different ways that different hackers, fraudsters, and scammers get information. A lot of times, what they do is they go in crowded areas and they jam or basically send out Wi-Fi signals. So whoever's on these different Wi-Fi signals, they can get into that person's phone and get different information. And you know, a lot of times people be having they cards on their wallets on their phone because they made it easier for people to be able to utilize their wallets and make it feel safer for them not to have the physical cards. But like I said, they are making it easier for the fraudsters and the scammers as well to be able to get this information. So while many modern payment cards use dynamic security codes for transactions, other NFC applications like digital business cards or public transportation passes may store data with insufficient encryption, making them vulnerable to data theft and cloning. So business cards, digital business cards, a lot of people are starting to figure things out. Meaning that since this is a new age, since this is a new day, people know that most people are broke. But people now know about credit, know about business funding and things like that. So most businesses who are operating will have some type of funds. So now the attackers or the fraudsters or scammers or whoever are starting to target more business accounts because it's a higher percentage of or a higher chance that this account or this card or this card is connected to an account will have funds in it. So now they're starting to, and the digital business cards have a lower security encryption on them, so it makes them more vulnerable for the hackers or the scammers to be able to compromise the information. So now we got ghost tapping. This involves two attackers or two devices to effectively extend the NFC range. Now, like I said, if you forgot what an NFC range, it is, I mean, what an NFC is, it is any card with a chip. It's basically the chip that, so a lot of people be like, bro, I don't know what it means, and so it's the near field communication. I was reading these text messages and people coming in. My fault, John. I be having to multitask. So with the ghost tapping, so one attacker gets close to the victim to capture the car's NFC signal, which then is immediately relayed over to the internet to a second attacker at the distant payment terminal or ATM. So the transmitting with these different signals. Signals are very valuable to this type of field of work when it comes to getting information because everything is based off a signal. When you tapping your card and doing different things, we signal is based off a signal. So you basically sending a signal with information connected to that signal. So when they get that signal, that information that's connected to it will be verified and configured whatever that it needs to configure. So you're making a purchase or you're sending a text message or things like that. So that's how that works. So the payment system processes the transaction as if it's a legitimate card and present, bypassing geographically anti-fraud checks if not configured properly. So a lot of times they configure the IPs and configurations so that they connect those so that it can bypass the security database. And a lot of people um utilize IPs and configurations to match locations and bypass security databases when it comes in this field of work in the dark world. So that's basically what it's doing. So then you got the malware, the tampering, right? So people will be like, what's malware? So basically, this is malware is basically a virus that fraudsters, scammers, or hackers put on computers or databases and to control it to make it basically do what they want it to do. So hackers can reprogram public NFC tags and advertisements and informational posters to redirect a user's phone to a malicious website or prompt the download of malware. So they can basically control the NFC tag or somebody's phone or anything to make it directed to basically. So let me give you an example. So let's say I'm at or a scammer, a fraudster, a hacker, whoever is at like a Starbucks, and a lot of people in there, and people are in there on their laptops and things like that. They can send out signals to these laptops, and if they click that link, their information will be stolen. It's all through a click of a link. Everything that's on that computer will be compromised. So this malware is very powerful when it comes to the dark web and the scam world because it allows people to easily, or scammers and fraudsters to easily compromise people's information with just a click. So the malware can steal sensitive information, access mobile wallets, and facilitate further attacks. So all it is one click. So they send these whatever to the phone. They see you on they searching the net. They can send it through the while you on the net. They can send it through a text message. They can send it a lot of different ways. But by you being in range, they can send it to your device because every device is ran off some type of data software, some type of network, some type of server. They all have programs and programs to them. So people don't understand. Like I tell you guys all the time, anything with a chip in it can be compromised. With a system, a database, all our phones, computers, laptops, uh, the traffic lights, everything is controlled by databases, servers, and networks, and they all can be compromised. And a lot of people don't understand that. So then another way that people are utilizing with the methods with the credit card fraud is unauthorized transactions, so lost or stolen cards. If a card is lost or stolen, it can be used. You know how they go. People lose their card all the time, and people hurry up and try to use it. That's really some bum stuff right there. So then you got social engineering, phishing attacks, often accompany technical exploits. So attackers may trick victims into installing malicious apps or revealing sensitive information like one-time passcodes, OTPs, by impersonating a bank or government service. This information can be used to provision the victim's card details into a hacker's own mobile wallet. So basically, this is the scam part. This is the social engineering part when they trick a victim using OTP and bots and spoofs. So basically, the fraud text messages and calls when they act like, hey, when they send them out, when we all get them random text messages, hey, are you trying to spend $500 at Walmart? Yes or no? Are you trying to wire transfer $2,000 to blah blah blah? Yes or no? And like I said, as the world evolves, the methods will evolve, and the information and resources will evolve. Back then, people used to just buy random information off the dark net, the dark web, and basically send out random text messages to any and everybody. Now they got to the point where people are focusing more on detail, meaning that they are basically going to different banks. And now the hackers are compromising different banks' databases, getting people's information. So they basically know all the people who got a bank account or banking with that bank, and they're selling it. So people who buy it know all the people who actually bank at that bank. So instead of buying 100 fools or profiles, random profiles, and sending random text messages to all these people, hoping that somebody texts us back or you responds. Now you know everybody. Now that scammer fraudster knows everybody who has an actual bank. So by them getting that text message, they're gonna get more response back um, than they would if they was just sending out random text messages. And more people are starting to actually respond to these people and become victims of this type of crime. Now, the thing with this is that it's not fraud, it's a scam because once that person gets that text message and if they responds, now the method is on. They're going to social engineer, trick, or manipulate that person into either giving them their login credentials or having them log in and send them money out. And by them logging in or anybody logging into their account, the, it's on the other side looking at it. It's like when the bank looks at it, it's like the person, the victim is actually logging in to their account because that's why they send out the OTPs, the one-time passcodes, because it goes to the phone number that's on the account. So if the scammer or the fraudster is acting as they are the fraud department, saying, okay, what is your current username? What are you trying to transfer it to? But they're really logging into their account and then saying, okay, we're going to send you a one-time password. Can you give us that password? And they give it to them. It's like the victim is logging into their account, and banks don't want to be responsible for that because that's scamming. That's not fraud, and banks only cover fraudulent activities, and a lot of people do not know the difference. So when it happens, they feel as if the bank has to reimburse them for their funds, but the bank technically the bank doesn't because they don't know if you're doing it or somebody social engineered or scammed you to do it because they're not. It's not a camera on our phones that we got to utilize or that we got to like to look like we got it. They don't know. So by what they can see is like the victim is actually logging in and just sending money out. And then in most times, in most cases, banks only refund people when it hits the news. So when so many people, it affects so many different people from the same bank, and it picks up the news, then that's when the banks start refunding their money. Because, like I said, banks don't want to be looked at as a place where people can won't be safe to hold their money because banks make money off people. So when people start seeing that bank isn't legit, they're gonna start losing people. They're gonna start losing money. Then that bank is going to go into bankruptcy. So they need people. So those are different types of ways that scammers and fraudsters are utilizing the new credit card methods. Like I said, they utilizing the black box, the MSR X6, having people working at restaurants, third shift, McDonald's, Burger King's, Taco Bell, these type of restaurants where there's a drive through and people are basically when they handing over their card to pay for their food or whatever, they get the card, they shut that window, they swipe that card on that MSR X6 and read that information. It's not going to give an alert that you didn't pay for anything, so it's just reading information. Only time you're gonna get alert was when they actually pay for the food that you're getting. And so it's gonna be one type of alert, and they're never gonna know. So this world is getting very clever. There's more people trying new things because this world is more money hungry. More people need money, they need it fast. So people are trying to do anything and everything that they can. Scam and fraud has been up 600 to 800% since COVID-19. And people are perceived and brainwashed to see as if this world is just free money, easy money. Anybody can do it. And a lot of people are actually getting into this world and getting on the dark web and meeting people and doing certain things that's actually generating some type of funds for them. And then there are also people getting into this world that are also doing certain things that's putting them in certain situations they don't want to be in, jail time, prison time, because these crimes are federal crimes because most of these crimes are dealing with banks and money that's federally insured. So it's a big whirlwind when it comes to this world that we're living in with these scams and fraud because everybody trying to get some money quick, fast, in a hurry, and so many people are broadcasting it on social media every day. What do you expect? People are going to want to get some money like that. People are tired of working. People are tired of getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning to slave all day to only make $1,200 a month, $1,300 a month. People want to It's people out here that's never had $5,000, $10,000 at one time, and they see all these people and kids making this flash and all this money. It's going to make them want to try something. So, like I said, it's all about being more safe, being more cautious, and being more aware of what's going on out here in this crazy world that we live in, because these things are real and these things are actually happening. And at the end of the day, there's two sides. There's somebody who's generating revenue from this, and there's somebody who's a victim. So, like I said, use RFID blocking wallets too, or card sleeves to shield cards from unauthorized scanning. So there are wallets out here that are called RFID blocking wallets or card sleeves that will basically block those transmissions, or not transmissions, those wire signals from happening that could possibly compromise your information that's in your wallet. So make sure you guys are getting your RFID blocking wallets and card sleeves. Enable real-time transaction alerts to detect and report suspicious activity immediately to your financial institution. Secure your NFC enabled mobile devices with strong pins, fingerprints, and facial recognitions. Do as much as you can to stay secure. I'm trying to tell you, it's getting real out here. Be wary of scanning NFC tags in public places or from unauthorized sources, and only install apps from official trusted app stores. All right, so make sure y'all staying safe when y'all download these apps and tapping y'all cards and checking and making sure there ain't no skimmers on these POS machines and ATMs because they out there and people not aware of it, so they're not knowing to check for it. Make sure you guys are getting your Norton LifeLock to monitor all your social media accounts and financial accounts to make sure no suspicious activity is going on, and it'll monitor the dark web to make sure none of your personal information is being sold. So make sure you get your Norton LifeLock. Make sure you guys are freezing all three of your credit profiles, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. If it's froze, somebody can get anything in your name, not even you. So make sure you guys are getting that frozen, taken care of. And make sure you guys get new debit card and credit card numbers every so often because, like I said, we tap and insert and swipe and order online all day, every day, and we never know. And there's always a compromised leak or hack that's going on. So if we get new cards and new information, it's like a fresh start, where you can be more comfortable knowing that you have never used this card anywhere, so this card information is nowhere. Vice versa, you had your card for 6 years and then tapped so many different places and ordered so many different places. Now your information is so many different places. Like, man, I mean, you know what I'm saying? So make sure you guys are not following, but make sure you guys are staying more safe, staying more cautious, being more aware of what's going on out there in this real crazy world that we are all living in. All right, so shout out to all my real King Hustle fans, supporters, subscribers out there, because without y'all, there be no me. Y'all motivate me keep going. Y'all motivate me keep dropping the sauce, and y'all motivate me keep y'all entertained. So shout out to all of y'all. Anybody out there that's tired of being broke, because it ain't no joke, let's get to work. FaceTime one-on-one limited gems are $1,000, but for limited time only, I'm doing it for 600. Yeah, 600 cash app or Bitcoin payment. Once the 600 is on your Cash App or Bitcoin balance, send me a screenshot. Let me know your payment ready, and we will go from there. All right, no screenshots, no replies, no 21 questions, and please do not yell me. Make sure y'all booking y'all seat on the webinars Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 250. Make sure y'all booking y'all seat on the crypto tour in person limited gems, 3,500. Make sure y'all booking y'all seat on the month long mentorship, $1,000. Make sure y'all checking out my vendor platforms on Telegram and the Potato App, me and their networking world. Still looking for people for the protection company. Make sure y'all subscribe and hit the notification bell on my YouTube channels, my Twitches, IGs, TikTok, Snapchat. Make sure y'all checking out the crypto world because it's changing people's lives. Make sure y'all getting in y'all fitting with these lows, 120 and up. Y'all cash out Bitcoin payment, send me the screenshots when y'all ready. And y'all know how I get down in these videos. I'll see you at the next listening video or live. Peace.